show me code 6 at the 6th Street Bridge in Santa Fe on electrical disturbance.
10-4, R31 David.
Okay, so Terminator 2. Terminator 2. This is just going to be a little review. This is going to be something that I wanted to speak on for a while because it's something I thought about because I love movies. I do movies. I make small movies. I've made The Trap and another film, a 40-minute film that's took me years to make called Case of Death, which is done and it's edited. And I just need to do. Well, I was doing it earlier on in the year, and then I just stopped it because I got fed up of everything. I needed to take a break. But it's done and it's edited, and it just needs music and post-production sounds. So I'm going to do that next year, finish it up. So The Trap, A Case of Death, and then I'm going to do the promo for The Man Who Died. I'm building the set now, bits and pieces of it for The Cave, and do the promo for that, and then push it for next year to try and get the script for The Man Who Died, which I've written, into a feature film in some way. And like I said before, if it's not possible for me to make the feature film or try and get it made through some of the avenues that I know, don't care. What difference does it make? And like I thought about even this channel of kind of some of the things that I speak about are against the system, so to speak. Well, I don't care about the system. The system can go fuck itself. All right. And if it means that I can't do something because they, want to punish me or something like that, because, oh, look at the way this guy's speaking, we can't have him doing anything, then that's fine, because the truth comes first, whatever that may be, and it's connected to no self, that comes first, not a movie, but we live in this three-dimensional world, and movies are cool sometimes if you can look past the bullshit, so Terminator 2... and casting, Robert Patrick and movie casting. They get caught up, these big corporations, these big movies get caught up with this complete hogwash and bullshit in movies about having only people a lot of the time who have done something else, or they have a name, or they're going to have some sort of draw for the audience because they know them by name and stuff like that. Now, Terminator 2 obviously had other things going for it because, James Cameron, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the success of the first one. So it didn't really hinge on Robert Patrick in the movie. People were going to go and see the movie regardless of who played the T-1000 in the movie. All right, but I see a lot of films, and I can't even think of many of them off the top of my head because I'd have to really think about it. But, as I'm watching movies over the years, I've looked at it and I've thought of Terminator 2 because for me, it's very important in movies that you cast right, that you cast the right man or woman for that particular part. So, and I can't think of one film that was cast better other than maybe Ray Park in The Phantom Menace. That was another great casting choice. They casted him. He was just a stuntman on that movie. And they cast him because he was just perfect in it. And he made the whole movie. He was way better than Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor in The Phantom Menace. He was the real star of that movie. He had such a little small amount of screen time in it as well, which is ridiculous. He was the whole movie. You know, the only time I ever watch anything to do with the Phantom Menace is the parts with Ray Park in it. You know, because he was the movie star. He was the real star of that movie, right? So whenever I think of bad casting, I always look at Terminator 2 because it is a pointer to perfect casting. I mean, Robert Patrick for me, he made the whole movie. He was absolutely fantastic in it. Without Robert Patrick in Terminator 2, you would have had half a movie. Anyone else would have played that part. He was just absolutely brilliant in it. Whatever he'd done to bring out that, he had the right look for it and stuff, but regardless of that, he was just so good in it. In every part of it, he was just brilliant, you know. And they cast him. He had a small part a year earlier in Die Hard 2. If you see Die Hard 2, you'll see him in it. He had a small part in it, you know. But I remember reading one time that he was very, very poor and just living in a small little danky kind of apartment with his girlfriend, and you know, he was going from probably job to job, trying to get a little bit here and a little bit there, you know. But James Cameron cast him because he said he kind of looked like a cat to a certain point, and it was all about senses and stuff. But I think originally they wanted Billy Idol, the singer, and I think he broke his leg or something, or his arm or something, and he couldn't do it. So, which was good, because perfect casting was Robert Patrick in Terminator 2. He was absolutely perfect in it. And if there's any movie people ever listening to this, you know, you want to really think about it. You want to think about casting the right man or woman in movies instead of casting people that don't suit the part simply because they might bring in some money, or you think they might bring in a bit of money or whatever. You know, so if you take that out of the equation and try and get the right, doesn't matter if they've done nothing before. It doesn't even matter if they've ever acted before. Okay? Now, when I'm casting for The Man Who Died, I was going to do The Man Who Died short film earlier on this year. I was going to do a short movie of it. So I've narrowed it down now just to a promo because it was going over budget and it was just too much for me to take on with trying to do everything, and I made a lot of mistakes. You know, so I decided to not make the biggest mistake, which is to go ahead with it back in July and regroup and just lose the money that I put into it so far and pull the plug on it because I was sinking and it was not executed right. So that was my fault. All right, so, but just say the casting even for The Man Who Died, I have an actor for The Man Who Died already. He's a good actor. You know, I'll talk more about him at some other point in a separate video because he's doing some big enough kind of like series now for some big company. I can't remember. But the peasant in the film, I've casted a friend of mine. He can't act. So we tried training earlier on in the year, and he couldn't act. So we just went around with trying different scenarios, and trying it and practicing it, and he just couldn't act. But there was some times he was getting it, and I was like, because he just is the peasant to me, the way that he looks, the way it's him. But he can't act. Never acted in his life, you know, but I'm casting him in it simply because my gut feeling says that he is the guy for it, for the peasant, right? So to go back to Terminator 2, and what I was saying about these big companies, that you really want to think about it. You really want to think about and look at Terminator 2 again, if you have to. If you want to know what pinpoint 100% casting accuracy looks like, then look at Robert Patrick in Terminator 2, because it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant that they cast him. You know, so that's what you need to do. Doesn't matter how much money's been spent on the movie. It doesn't matter how many people are saying, "Oh, what has he done?" No, is he right for the part? You can get the best actor in the world if he's not right for the part. If it doesn't suit the part with who he is as a man or a woman, or what he looks like in the right way, then it's not going to work as well. So anyway, that's that.